All right, so you've been hearing about this create content model thing for WordPress, huh? Wondering if it's really the future of WordPress, like everyone's saying. Well, you've come to the right place. For this deep dive, we've been poring over everything. Developer discussions, blog posts, even those video demos from WordPress.com.
Yeah, it's been blowing up.
It has.
And for good reason. I think what's really caught everyone's eye is that this prototype plugin, it just might be the answer to this big problem we've had in WordPress forever, making custom post types and fields, user-friendly. And right now, it's all happening over in Gutenberg, right in the block editor.
Which, I mean, being able to visually design all of that sounds amazing. But I know. What has everybody freaking out is that create content model. It stores all that custom data as post meta, not in the post content itself. So help me out here. What's the big deal with that?
Okay, so imagine this. You want to totally redesign your website, but you don't want to touch any of the content. Or let's say you need to make like a bulk edit across hundreds of posts, like changing an ingredient in every recipe on a food blog.
Yeah.
With this approach, it's a piece of cake. And here's the real kicker. It does all this while still playing by the rules of core WordPress.
Nice.
It's totally compatible with the REST API.
Okay, so we're not reinventing the wheel, just making it way better.
Exactly.
Okay, that's huge. So instead of this like tangled mess of content in the database, you've got this beautifully organized system. I'm already seeing dollar signs for how much easier this could make everyone's lives.
Chuckles.
Because no good story comes without a little drama.
Right?
There's been some pushback from the community about all this.
Yeah, there has. And it's important to understand why. You see, while Create Content Model was presented as, this 2-week experiment, the marketing around it, especially that tempting try it now button, leading directly to a WordPress playground, well, let's just say it got people's hopes up about it being integrated into WordPress core.
Yep.
And so when the developers came out and said, well, actually, there isn't a roadmap for that,
right,
some users felt a little bit let down.
Yeah, like the rug was pulled out.
Exactly.
Classic miscommunication. It's like getting really excited about a dish on a menu, only to find out it's a limited time offer. Yep. But honestly, this fast-paced experimental world of open source, it can be a lot. Things change so quickly. Managing expectations can feel like a full-time job.
Absolutely. And this actually isn't the first time WordPress has been in this situation. Remember Calypso?
Oh, yeah.
That big attempt to overhaul the entire WordPress experience.
Right.
That ultimately kind of fizzled.
Yeah.
It just highlights how challenging it is to get that balance right, pushing innovation while keeping the community in the loop.
Calypso was definitely a roller coaster ride. And its kind of demise left some trust issues, let's be honest.
Right.
But let's pivot to the positive for a moment. Because despite the, shall we say, development drama, the user reaction to Create Content Model has been overwhelmingly positive. Those demo videos.
Oh, yeah.
Racking up views like crazy. Clearly, this is something people are really excited about.
It really does feel like people are hungry for this, like they're ready for something big.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, right? Like, what if this is how WordPress really starts to compete with those big structured content management platforms?
Yeah, right.
Like the Contentfuls, the Sanities.
Yeah.
Could this be WordPress's chance to really become that content creation powerhouse?
I mean, it's a really interesting thought because WordPress has always kind of walked this line, right?
Yeah.
Between being super user-friendly, especially for beginners, but also offering all these powerful features for developers. And Create Content Model almost feels like a sign that WordPress is ready to kind of push those boundaries even further. Give everyone, no matter their technical skills, the tools to build these really sophisticated websites.
Totally. And speaking of user-friendliness, the thing that really struck me watching those plugin demos was how intuitive it all seemed.
Right.
You don't need a computer science degree to figure out how to build a content model with this thing.
Exactly.
It's all visual, drag and drop .i. It actually looks fun, which is kind of revolutionary.
It is. And I think that's so crucial because if we want people to really get on board with this whole new way of working with content, it has to be accessible, not just, in terms of functionality, but how easy it is to actually wrap your head around.
Exactly.
If it's intimidating, people are going to shy away from it.
For sure. And just think about the possibilities if this approach to content models, if it really catches on in WordPress.
Oh, yeah.
We could see this whole new generation of websites and applications
Absolutely.
that are way more dynamic, way more data rich, and like factually designed for how people look at stuff online.
Think about like a food blogger who can easily create recipe posts
Okay, yeah.
with structured data for all the ingredients, cooking times, dietary restrictions,
Oh, that's smart.
all easily searchable and filterable for their audience.
Yes.
Or imagine a musician building their discography page where fans can browse through albums, listen to song previews, even buy concert tickets,
Right.
all managed right there in their WordPress dashboard. This level of structured data just opens up a world of possibilities.
Okay, yeah, you're painting a very exciting picture here.
Chuckles.
And it all goes back to this idea of WordPress evolving, like really pushing beyond what we thought it could do.
Definitely.
Because let's be real, for as flexible as WordPress has always been, and it's famous for it,
Yeah.
there are other platforms out there that are like the go-to for developers who want to build really complex stuff.
Right. And that's why I think Create Content Model, even if it doesn't become a core feature, it's still been huge,
Totally.
It started this really important conversation in the WordPress world about the future of content modeling. It's challenged us to ask, how can we make WordPress even better? How can we give users the tools to build even more powerful and innovative websites?
Because at the end of the day, WordPress is about giving everyone a voice.
Exactly.
It's about making it possible for anyone to share their stories and build their dreams online. And that's what makes it so exciting. It's pretty wild when you think about it, right?
Yeah.
Like this one plugin, just this little 2-week experiment.
Yeah.
It sparked this whole conversation about like the soul of WordPress,
It just goes to show that even a platform as, I don't know, like established and as big as WordPress,
Right.
there's always room to do something new, to shake things up a bit.
Totally. And the community is so ready for it.
Oh, yeah.
What I find really interesting is how Create Content Model has kind of like zeroed in on this tension that's always been there in WordPress.
Yeah.
Between, like flexibility and structure. Because for the longest time, WordPress has been all about you can build anything you want. But that freedom, sometimes it comes at a cost.
Yeah, totally.
Especially as websites get more complex, more data heavy.
It can get messy.
Exactly. And that's where this idea of content modeling, it just makes so much sense.
It changes everything.
It does, because it's not just about making things look nice on the surface.
Right.
It's about rethinking how we actually build stuff in WordPress, how we make it all work together.
Yeah. Yeah, like fundamentally changing how we approach content.
Exactly. It's almost like we're moving away from this like free-flowing, write whatever you want space to something that's more like a database or an API.
Right.
Where everything has its place, its purpose.
It's organized.
Yes. But the real question is what does this mean for all of you listening?
That's the big question, isn't it? I think at the very least, this deep dive has given you all something to really think about.
For sure.
Because Create Content Model, it might become a core feature, it might not, but this whole idea of structured content, it's not going away.
It's here to stay.
It's the future.
So if you're out there listening to this and you've ever felt limited by how WordPress does things,
Yeah.
if you've ever wanted more control, more flexibility,
now is the time to pay attention.
this is it. This is an exciting time to be building for WordPress because, who knows?
Who knows?
The next big thing could be just around the corner.
That's the beauty of it.
It is.
This open source world, always evolving, always changing.
Yeah.
So keep experimenting, keep pushing the boundaries of what WordPress can do, and most importantly, tell everyone about it. Share what you learn.
Yes.
Because you never know. You might just inspire the next big breakthrough.
Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, so as we wrap up this deep dive on Create Content Model, here's a little food for thought. What if this is just the beginning?
Ooh, I like that.
What if this whole exploration of content modeling, what if it completely changes how we think about and use WordPress?
That's a really exciting thought.
It is exciting, because if WordPress can figure out how to be both user-friendly and powerful when it comes to content, the possibilities are just endless.
Truly endless.
And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder those possibilities. Until next time, happy building.